Welcome back to the Unframe of Mind show, where we have uncomfortable conversations without a condom. I'm your host, Daniel Wagner.
Hey, Anthony Treywick.
Anthony Treywick in the house.
That's right.
So, we will be discussing how this whole GameStop Rebellion will lead to the Bitcoin revolution, in my humble opinion. And I'm going to explain that whole GameStop thing for those of you who don't really understand what's going on. And we'll also explain how to buy your first Bitcoin. We're going to do all that later on today on the Unframe of Mind show and shit.
Listening to the Unframe of Mind show, the place to have the most mind-stretching, unprotected, intellectual intercourse of your life. Your hosts battle the forces of evil by lobbing fiery balls of truth, reason, and evidence over safe room walls.
And welcome back, y'all, to the Unframe of Mind show, where we have uncomfortable conversations without a condom. I feel like I've already said this. I feel like I'm in a time warp. We don't have time to waste. First thing on the agenda is the fact that we are...
This is Daniel Wagner, and I'm Anthony Treywick.
Remember when you got
Welcome to...
Remember when you got on the mic and you
Unframe
just
of
said
Mind.
that a minute ago? So
I did.
Okay. So we just recently received our first strike on YouTube.
Stick your hand out. Stick your hand out. Other way.
Oh.
There you go.
That's what we got from YouTube.
Slap on the wrist.
We got that and then like grounded for a week.
Yeah.
So we can't post any content on YouTube for a week, which really sucks because the way that my workflow operates is I upload to YouTube with these live shows, and then it goes from YouTube and distributes out to a lot of the other alternative channels, saving me a lot of work from going each individual channel and uploading videos. It's so monotonous and time consuming. So that's something we're going to have to deal with and come up with an alternative solution for. So if you know of one, please let me know. Here's the thing. The thing that we got our strike for was for a satirical QAnon video making fun of the QAnon supporters, but it took it as cyberbullying and harassment and gave us a first strike because apparently spreading QAnon conspiracy theories is bullying and harassment, even if it is satirical and you're actually against QAnon and you're trying to tell people that it's stupid, you shouldn't be following that shit to begin with. So there's that. That made it interesting because we've just recently received a warning and then a strike, and both of them were for things that had QAnon in the title or in the description. So I'm assuming that they're really going through and just shutting down any content about Q on YouTube. I don't know what they're scared of, because when I see stuff like this happen, it makes me feel like they actually have something to hide, and there's a reason why it might be legit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's funny because I've mentioned this in a previous video that I had done where I explained that we've had some other guests on our show, pretty controversial. We've had a self-proclaimed racist. We've had Enrique Tarrio on the show, not once, but twice.
Yeah. Never got shut down.
Yeah, it never got shut down. And even Hagatha, of all people. So it's like, it's interesting, man. Because here's the thing. It's just these social media platforms don't understand humor. They don't understand sarcasm and things that are satire and so forth. So it's like you really can't decipher what is sarcasm, what is joking, and what is a sense of humor. So what happens is you're really starting to cross that line of, well, you've already crossed that line of censorship,
right,
but not being able to really kind of, decipher that difference. So what is this going to look like for the future when somebody wants to post a funny video, and it's taken out of context? You know what I'm saying? Now, could this been the title of the video of why it was removed? Yeah, possibly. I mean, more like, it's probably what it was. Their algorithms probably picked it up and said, no, going to throw a strike your way, and you're just going to have to deal with it and go to your room for a week. So,
yeah. and even when I appealed it, I haven't heard back from them, so I'm left here in the dark. But I don't want to waste the whole show talking about that. We all knew it was coming. Yeah. We are trying to come up with our alternative workflows and try to figure out a better way to make it so that we can actually produce the show without being such a hit to our time, as far as making too much extra work for us.
Well, I think what this has done, though, is taught us a valuable lesson not to put all of our eggs in one basket and be so dependent on the bigger platforms. We need to start actually distributing our eggs a little better as far as where we do live stream.
Yep, absolutely.
So that's something that we're looking into, we're working out, and it'll take some time. It's very unfortunate. It's we're not one of the bigger channels. so for this to happen to us, to be a smaller channel, it's already hard enough as it is, and it's a struggle to grow an audience when you've got so many different podcasts out there. Now when they throw a strike on you, it makes it even harder to get over that hump.
Yeah.
And it's just, man, if you guys only knew the work that goes into what we do to do this show, and we, you know what, we're not complaining.
I try to automate. I try to automate as much as I can to take off some, but it's okay.
Well, it's not complaining. This is just adapting, is what it is,
right,
in my opinion.
Right.
So,
and I'm sure we'll touch on more of that in the future. The architect says, seems odd they want to punish the guy going through a green light when he gets hit by the rich guy in a $1 billion car who ran the red. Yep. Basically, we'll get into all that tonight for sure. Yeah. So I do want to start our show off with one of our favorite segments, the Faux Business.
Faux Business.
What do you say about that? You ready?
Yeah. Faux Business. Faux Business. Faux Business.
All right. And tonight,
hey, it's a crotch shot. Look at that. You got that camera angle. We intentionally did this camera angle on purpose, but not realizing y'all were going to get a nice little shot of my crotch.
Now I'm jealous. No, I can't. I literally can't stop looking at it.
It's there, man. I mean, I need to get one of those Thigh Masters from back in the 90s and just use it throughout the show.
Get one of them Kegel curlers the girls used. All right, so on tonight's Phobismist, we have, I want to explain to you guys why the word all right is very offensive.
All right.
Do
explain.
Do explain indeed. So, all right is very offensive, and it's kind of like okay's little cousin. Okay is already very offensive, and I mean just the fact that I'm doing this right here makes it incredibly offensive. It
makes you a racist.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's white power, white power. It just, I mean, you know the drill.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're here for. I'm going to explain to you why all right is problematic, and it's problematic for a couple of reasons, and here's why. First, it's dangerously close to being alt-right.
Right. Yeah.
Alt-right. You know, you just throw in an I and sprinkle in a dash, and suddenly the seemingly harmless, calming word of affirmation starts lynching minorities en masse.
Oops.
Yeah. Secondly, all right can be used interchangeably with okay. Now, historically, the okay hand symbol is a widely recognized jest for white power, but, you know, if you're hearing people say all right in place of okay, in place of a hand symbol, then that is by association, guilt by association. That's how we do things.
All right.
It's also offensive. So I want to, there's a big button that I got for you guys. Check this out.
All right.
See, now this proves that Matthew McConaughey is triple racist. That's K, K, and K. Okay, racist. That's Matthew McConaughey.
No, he just says it better than the rest of us.
He really does.
That sexy ass voice. All right.
So, moral of the story? No. All right is not all right.
It's all right.
And back to the show. Hilarious.
You guys love it.
You guys are so funny. So let's hit into the comments for just a moment here. Oh my God.
What's going on in the comments?
Oh well, Puddin's hanging in there. She said it should be over hurting by now. That was this morning. Oh, I don't know what we're talking about. I've got lost. I'm just trying to jump in the middle of the comments. So, all right, back to the show. Let's see.
Yay.
So check this out.
Okay.
We've got a huge thing going on right now, and it's with this this whole GameStop rebellion that you've heard about. And
we had this conversation before the show tonight. I caught like a 5-minute snippet of it was a clip that Ben Shapiro had played explaining what had happened. I guess apparently with GameStop. Wow. GameStop with the stock market. Mm-hmm. I got busy doing something else and then completely didn't listen to the rest of it. So I am going to lean on you this evening to teach me a little bit of what was going on with this. Yeah, we need cliff notes.
Most people will see, the whole GameStop stock rises and the Wall Street and most people hear these words and they're just like glaze over. They're just like, I don't care, whatever. But
just highlight it for me.
No, right. What I'm saying is, it's kind of a normal reaction. It's kind of part of our programming that we really don't care about financial stuff, and it's fine. I totally understand it. It's not for everybody, but the thing is, this particular maneuver to me, if I'm watching the dominoes fall in such a way, like we did with COVID, like we can kind of see how these things will play out, and anybody who's got 2 cents can kind of see that pun I just did.
I did.
Okay, so we move on from my damn dumb dad jokes.
Say that 5 times real fast.
I know, I couldn't say it one time real fast. So before I explain, what I wanted to do was bring up this video here. It's got 16 million views over here on Twitter.
Okay.
This Avalon Penrose, 16 million views, 2 minutes. She does a fantastic job of explaining this whole thing, probably more succinctly than I ever could.
Okay.
So let's play that before we get started here.
Crotch shot.
Yeah.
A lot of people online who are like, what is going on with the stock market? Is there anyone who can explain this in normal person terms? And so I decided I want to do that because I own stocks, so I have a pretty good understanding of the stock market. And from what I understand, there are these people who they have lots of money and they have hedges around their house, and they
Following?
go to the market, but it's not a real market. It's
pay attention.
It's metaphorical, but it's real. And they
Preach, girl, preach.
They go, uh-oh, that company's not doing well, so I'm gonna make it do worse. So they
right.
they pull out.
Okay, I'm just kidding. I
No, keep playing. No, I gotta see this.
Oh, okay.
I have to, in my lifetime, I have to listen to the rest of this video. Go, please.
Some papers, and they go, who wants to make a deal? They start making deals, and they say if this company's good, if it stays,
if it's good.
if it goes down, then
right, goes down.
get money from you, and if it goes up, then I'll give you money.
That's right.
But they don't tell you that it's not gonna go up. I mean, they will make it so it goes down. But then there was this online reading club that was like, oh, well, not today.
Right.
We want hedges too. And so they went into their bank accounts, and then they also went to the market, and they were like,
This has got to be fake.
bye.
Bye.
Company, and changed it a lot. And so now the initial people,
remember the initial people?
They have to give their hedges,
What
I think,
the fuck
to the other
this?
people.
The other people. The initial people and then the other people.
So yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know.
Oh, honey, I've got more questions than you have in stock at this point. Please tell me this was fake.
Okay, so from what I understand, she is a comedian, but I don't know if this is fake or not. I don't really care. It's still funny as fuck because it's got 16 million views on it. And she does such a great job of explaining this. I'm totally kidding. I'm going to explain what I can as best as I can. So let me
head
okay.
hurts.
And if
I just lost so many brain cells
I know.
from watching that.
I know it's fine, but
Hedges around her house.
and the initial people and the people later and stuff, All right. So what I want to do is start with
society is in so much fucking trouble right now.
No, we're fine.
True.
We're fine. And that's another thing that I need to talk to you about. I need you to watch a documentary on Netflix called Crack. It's about the crack epidemic. Crack. It's called it's Crack, subtitled "Cocaine Conspiracies and Corruption" or something like that. And it's really good. It's really well done, except for it's very biased, so you got to kind of overlook some of that stuff. But
over the last week, I've been watching the Animal Planet.
That's probably okay.
You know why?
Because you don't.
Because animals have more fucking common sense than goddamn people do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jesus Christ.
Yay! I can comment, but I can't see you. Oh, okay.
You have to push the play button.
Yeah, something. Anyway, so GameStop suddenly rises stock price, goes shooting way up, and nobody knows why at first. Okay, it's sitting around like $5-6 or something, super low, and then all of a sudden it raises up to, I think it touched on about $1,500 for one share of GameStop stock.
No shit.
Yes.
Wow.
And
is it because of the whole situation with what was it, Yes Mama or whatever her name, or the trans, or I forgot what that was. Was it last year before?
No, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's ma'am.
It's
yeah,
ma'am.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. That's probably why it was low to begin with. No, but so GameStop, what they do is, well, they didn't do anything. They had nothing to do with this.
Yeah, it was
so
investors.
To be clear, this had nothing to do with GameStop themselves.
Right.
With this, and when this stock shot way up, Wall Street is panicking. They're going nuts and like freaking out because
I heard something about Reddit was involved with this.
Reddit is involved.
Okay.
Yes. So there is a forum on Reddit that has since been shut down.
Of course.
Of 4 million people, independent investors, just people, trading stocks.
Yeah.
And however, I don't know how the dominoes fell to come to this, but eventually they all decided, well, we're going to go ahead and purchase a bunch of GameStop stock and make it go up. And the reason they targeted GameStop as well as other ones is because the financial industry, if you will, were trying to short these stocks. Now, do you know anything about what a short is, or what that even means?
It's been a long time, but do explain.
Okay, so just to kind of give a brief description, if you go long on a stock, it just means kind of the normal traditional investment type thing.
I know that.
You buy Amazon because you think it's going to succeed and you're going to make some money someday. Well, to short a stock is to look at that same stock and go, well, I think they're going to fail, and I'm going to bet that company is going to fail.
Right.
Well, these companies, I guess the hedge fund companies and things like that, they decided that they're going to short sell this stock so much, like they overplayed their hand. They were buying. They were basically, and the way a short sell works is it's kind of like if I'm an investor and I come to you as you're my investment company, right?
Yeah.
I come to you and say, listen, I want to purchase some stock, or whatever the case. Well, somebody else might come to you and say, well, I want to purchase a short, I want to short this stock. Well, what they'll do is they'll take your stock from your portfolio, sell it for a little while, hoping that it will go down, and then they will buy it back at a lower price and put your stock back in your little folder over here. And then they have to pay back the person that wanted to short it the money. Well, what happens is they take a bet, they take a gamble, and they lost. They lost big. And all of a sudden, this stock goes way, way up because all these Redditors are targeting all these companies that these hedge fund investors are going, well, we're going to make them fail. And what happens is they bet these companies are going to fail. They kind of look like they're going to, and they go ahead and make these, they put in these orders to short sell. And then all of a sudden, they'll go on the news media and talk about how terrible, GameStop stock is, and you got to get out as quick as you can. Well, people start to panic and they sell
they sell everything. They dump.
And these financial guys end up winning big because of it. It's really dirty. There's no value actually produced. It's just them switching numbers around and trying to take gambles and bets.
Right.
Well, this Reddit community decides we're going to go ahead and just show our voice. And that's kind of what happened. Is they ended up showing what could be done, and it makes me really excited. And there's a reason why this particular thing makes me excited. It's because these financial industries usually was traditionally for the big dogs.
Right. I was fixing to go, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And even before, like apps like Robinhood and those little investment trading apps, the day trading, before you had day traders, you had to have a certain minimum amount of money before you could even go talk to a financial investor.
Yeah.
And most people didn't have that. So it basically shut out everybody with, under a certain amount of money because you just could not participate.
Yep.
You couldn't. There was just no way to do it. Well, any questions so far?
No, not so far. But yeah, go ahead.
So what happens when
I know where this is going.
What happens when you short sell? What happens when you short sell is you put yourself at a very risky position because there's no limit to upward growth.
Right.
Okay. So if you buy a stock and it goes down, you can only go to zero. But if you short sell it and the stock goes way up, wow, you can go so far in the negative it isn't even funny. Now, these companies are on the verge of, or if not, having to file for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Because they're all of a sudden being left holding the bag, and they can't go back to that original guy that bought the GameStop stock and saying, well, yeah, your GameStop stock is up really high, but we can't buy it back right now. to give you the money. We don't have it right now. What do you mean you don't have it? I told you to invest in GameStop. How come you ain't? Oh boy, it's a mess, and it's hilarious because for the first time in a long time, Main Street has been able to pull it over on Wall Street, and oh my God. Like, you think about all the insider trading shit that goes on in politics, and the way these quote-unquote capitalists work with, government hand in hand. Oh, well, we're getting ready to pass this new bill or this new law over here so they can go ahead and start setting themselves up for those changes. It's like, good God, man. So check this out. Where's it at? There's it at. Right here. This from Reuters. Losses on short positions in U.S. firms top $70 billion.
Oh, my God. I didn't know that.
$70 billion.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
okay.
Shit, man. So short sellers are sitting on an estimated loss of $70.87 billion from their short positions in U.S. companies so far this year. This is data from Financial Data Analytics. Okay, so the hefty losses come as shares of highly shorted GameStop jumped more than 1,000% in the past week without a clear business reason, forcing short sellers to buy back into the stock to cover potential losses, defined as a short squeeze, while retail investors then piled in to benefit from the surge. So, there's that. There's that. Now, the fun thing is the response. So this can only go one of two ways.
Yeah.
Direction one. Every time these investors decide they're going to short sell a stock, well, then this community or other communities like it get together and say, no, we're not having that. We'll go ahead and pinpoint our focus on this particular stock.
This opens
and
up
run y'all
Pandora's box is what it does.
Run y'all asses in the ground. You remember Occupy Wall Street years ago. Now, I thought that was interesting because I was like, you know how much things have changed now, and it's like the media doesn't really seem to be covering this like they covered Occupy Wall Street.
Yeah.
I mean, they had cameras out there every day covering every aspect of this. But then it dawned on me. Why were they covering that? Well, it's because Occupy Wall Street didn't actually do anything. Mm-hmm. There was nothing they could do. Stand out there and hold your little signs. Yeah, okay. No, like, dude, really, that's not going to do anything. All it's going to do is like give the news agencies some fuel for their fire to keep, Excuse me. So, the response now is you have all of these major companies, all these big investment firms, and you have the state all coming together and saying, Joe Biden's even saying we'll keep an eye on it and we're monitoring the situation and shit like this. So like I said, the first path is, well, this pattern continues and these financial giants no longer exist because they can't possibly stay in business, and the whole entire stock market thing is shown to be the sham that it is.
Right. Because
the stock market doesn't provide any value. I mean, you're really just kind of moving numbers around, taking bets on whether a company's going to do good or not do good. That's really all it is.
I think for most people, the only association they have to the stock market is probably Wolf of Wall Street. So,
or their 401ks, which really sucks because people are forced into these things. Honestly.
Yeah. I mean,
if I just have cash sitting on this chair over here stacked up, I'm losing money through inflation.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Right.
Yeah.
So most people are forced to invest in the stock market to some level or degree because if they don't, you're going to lose your money.
Well,
at least in the stock market, you have a chance that your money will grow, and if you're taking safe bets and safe investments, not really no such thing as safe, but you're taking more of a conservative approach with your portfolio, you can stand to make 5-6%, outpace the rate of inflation at least by a little bit, right?
But what would be other means to invest if you're not going to do the stock market? What would be another way to go about doing that?
Okay, we will get there. I know we will. Yeah, so we will get.
I was hoping that was a segue.
It was a great segue, but a little bit early because I still have a number of things to touch on here. I'm telling you, this was a big thing. I've been watching this and hearing a lot of different commentators, And it seems like everybody seems to be on the same page for once. It's like the left and the right can kind of agree on this. Like this is great. This is a way for the sides to come together and start recognizing who the real enemy is.
You're talking about money though, so obviously it's going to bring both sides together. Yeah. You know, it's just if you ever learned anything about money, it's the root of all evil. So
no, absolutely not, absolutely not. 100% disagree.
Yeah.
So I was watching Jimmy Dore had on God dang it, I just had his name. He's the black guy that goes around talking to all of the KKK members and things like that.
Daryl Davis.
Yeah, Daryl Davis. Mm-hmm. He's talking to Daryl Davis, and they played a little clip where they were, basically talking about way back when the racial tensions were high and whatnot, where black people and KKK members were kind of standing side by side because they were both getting fucked by the government. And next thing you know, they're kind of
still are.
Yeah, they're like, hey, y'all are messing with my money. Like, that's something we can all agree on.
That was my point, yeah.
Exactly. I was adding to your point.
Yeah.
So the other route that this whole thing can go is, well, the financial institutions double down, the state doubles down, and starts making it almost impossible for independent investors like you and me to hop on our little Robinhood app and invest in whatever we want to.
Yeah.
Making the barrier to entry there again. It was gone for a minute, but that's no longer. And what you're going to see, and this is a good segue, is that I theorize that you're going to have a number of these people that are making their living off of day trading and doing pretty well on it, all of a sudden be cut off where they can't do it anymore. And then they're going to discover things like Bitcoin, like cryptocurrencies, where there is no regulation. There is no way for the government to cut you off. You can invest as little or as much as you want, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. They're not going to suddenly go get a job. Some of them are.
Yeah.
But a large swath of them is going to go, well, where else can I put my money? Oh, Bitcoin. That's a good one.
So then let me ask you this question. Just say, you got $50,000 laying around and two safety deposit boxes. You want to invest, but what would be a good choice in investment, as far as Bitcoin?
You're talking to the wrong guy about what would be the best choice for investment. I can give you some ideas, and as
far as Bitcoin.
We've talked about this a number of times, and I would say if you're looking to get into the crypto industry in some fashion or another,
I'm looking to at least purchase a little bit of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I'm not going the full route of purchasing a whole Bitcoin. I want to take a little bit of that money and just kind of throw it out of Bitcoin just a little bit.
Oh, I do want to make sure I do cover one last thing here that I can think of, is that the app Robinhood, who claims and has claimed in the past that they are an investment tool for the little people, for the everyman, for guys like, you and me, the blue collar working class, And then as soon as the house starts losing, how funny how quickly they shut everything down. How funny how quickly Robinhood started shutting down the ability for people to purchase any more GameStop stock and other ones that were in that. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, and interestingly enough, you could still sell your GameStop stock on Robinhood. You just couldn't buy it. Now, hold on a minute. Who are they selling to? Like, who are you selling that shit to? Like, somebody's buying.
Somebody buying it.
Like, there's somebody buying.
Somebody's buying it, man.
The theory is that the investment firms and stuff are trying to get on top of it, and they got special deals behind the scenes where they get first dibs on this stuff. And that makes sense because they've suddenly got and they're going to be the ones bickering and fighting over the scraps that are available. I mean, they short sold to the point where it was like something like 140% of the stock that was even available.
Oh my god!
Like
this is insane.
Like you guys are so stupid. So it looks like the architect in our DLive channel has been chatting it up. Let me try to gather what you're talking about, man. Something was minimum 3% shrinkage yearly to your money. If you just sit on it this year, it's going to be much harder since 66% of all U.S. dollar were printed in 2020. 66% in 1 year. Oh my God. Yeah, I keep hearing that number. 66% of all U.S. dollars were printed in 2020. Think about that.
I got to move my money, dude.
Think about that. This is why this is so important. This is why I don't know what other investment tools or how else you go about getting your money out of U.S. dollar. But I do implore you, this is not financial advice, but get your fucking money out of US dollar if you know what's good for you.
Yeah.
66% of all money, all US dollars were printed. Okay, what does that mean? That means the value of your dollar that has already lost 98% of its value since its creation, over 98%, has now lost 66% of even that. Okay, the dollar that you had last year, once it trickles down into society overall, which usually takes around, I think what they were saying is like 6 to 7 years, which is perfect because the politicians that had the policies, nobody ever connects. Nobody remembers 2 years down the past.
No, they don't.
Anyway, so that being said, everything that you purchase today for $1, within about 6 to 7 years will have tripled in price if they stop here, if they don't print anything else. So, yeah, this is a very, very vital information. So what we're going to do is I have an article that I want to walk Anthony through because he is brand new to the...
I've got some money to invest. I got quite a bit of it.
Yeah, he's got some money to invest for sure. And I'm going to walk through this article from 99bitcoins.com. It's How to Buy Bitcoin in 2021, a beginner's guide. Now, we're just going to kind of do a walkthrough of this, discuss it, and stop on any points that you guys might have questions on, or Anthony might have questions on, just to explain a little bit more and give me an opportunity to explain. And when I was reading through this myself, I feel like they did a really good job. But then again, I also have the curse of knowledge, so I don't know what you don't know, right?
It's a lot.
Yeah, so that being said, so looking to buy Bitcoins and don't know where to start, you've come to the right place. So we've got he's got a thing right here. You can just buy it right here from Binance.
So how much would it be? Okay.
So here's your quick guide. General guide is you get a Bitcoin wallet.
All right.
Okay. You locate your Bitcoin address, you choose the amount of Bitcoin to buy, and you will be navigated to Binance where you can enter your Bitcoin address and payment information. That's just right off the bat. Now, okay, so right off the bat, we've already got a couple vocabulary terms. Binance is a Bitcoin exchange. It's where I can go and take my US dollars and I can go buy some Bitcoin. It is one of many places you can go.
Okay, so what does $1 US equate to Bitcoin?
Okay, so current Bitcoin price. Let me just
say if I wanted to invest I got quite a bit of money here I'm sitting on. So let's say, I don't know, about 25 grand. What is 25 grand going to get me in Bitcoin?
25 grand in Bitcoin. Let me go to CoinGecko. CoinGecko. Now they're a pretty good site for keeping track of different price movements and things like that. Especially for a beginner that's not really familiar with all this stuff. So right now,
am I too high up on that? I mean, is 20,000 a bit much to start with? Do you think I should start? I mean, because I need to know what the US dollar equates to Bitcoin, so I kind of know how much to invest.
Right.
I don't want to put too much of my money in there.
Absolutely. Now, that number is completely dependent on you.
So what is the actual current value of one Bitcoin?
One Bitcoin, according to CoinGecko, at this time on January 29th, 2021 at 8:37 p.m. is $34,248 per coin.
Fuck.
Yeah,
okay.
That's one coin.
So I would have if I invested all my money that I have.
Yes.
That I'm sitting on.
If you went through the trouble of buying one Bitcoin right now, you would be within the top 1% of the world as far as people who own a full Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. You would be a top 1%er. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
But
Well,
is that a good thing, bad thing?
It could be.
Okay.
It could be a good thing, but it just depends on if it continues to rise. And historically, it's done nothing but that with obvious corrections every now and again. It's normal, price movements.
So I could potentially be sitting on a full Bitcoin, probably a half of another.
Right. If you wanted to go that route. Now, I would never invest anything that
that's just full investment of the value of
if you're comfortable with losing that money.
No, I'm not comfortable.
Okay,
I'm not going to invest all of my money into Bitcoin. I'm just
right. So the number you're looking for is where your gut says, okay, I am no longer comfortable losing this money. Okay?
I want to throw just a little bit at it.
Yep.
to see what it does. I want to get familiar with Bitcoin. I want to understand the process of how this works before I decide to make any further investments with my money. Now, I don't know what that looks like, if that's going to take a couple of weeks, couple of months, a year down the road. I don't know.
Let's just start, and we'll work our way through here. And then certainly this. So number one, when should I buy Bitcoins? Okay, one of the main questions people ask me is the right time? Is this the right time to buy Bitcoin? Okay.
Do you think it's the right time?
I think it's still. I personally think it's still very, very early. That's just my personal feeling, though. But I've paid attention to stuff. I don't know.
How long have you been following Bitcoin?
Like almost a decade.
So you're pretty knowledgeable on this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish I had paid more attention in the early.
You're going to be my financial advisor to Bitcoin.
I am not. but I mean the way I do it. Okay, so as the architect here in the comments is saying, the smallest increment of a Bitcoin is 0.00000001. So that's eight decimal places, and that's what's called a Satoshi. Okay, the very smallest unit of a Bitcoin you could buy is a Satoshi. So keep that in your vocabulary bank. That more than likely will be the vocabulary we use when this thing becomes mainstream, where if I'm buying a cup of coffee, I'm not buying a cup of coffee for 0.0000327.5 Bitcoin. I would be saying, well, I could get it for 3,500 Satoshi or whatever.
Okay.
That's just much easier numbers, and I think once that happens, people will be a lot more inclined to use it. But I don't want to get too far off track.
Yeah, kind of getting off.
So is this the right time to buy Bitcoin? The problem is back to the article here. The problem is there is no good answer for this question, and it really depends on the reason that you're buying Bitcoin for. Now, you're looking for it as an investment tool to potentially maintain and store your value. Now, if you listen to guys like Peter Schiff, he'll tell you it's the dumbest thing in the world. And I do listen to Peter Schiff regularly to get his perspective, because I do value his perspective, and he may be 100% correct. I disagree, but just saying, if you're looking for somebody that's on the other side of this, for me, start there. So that way, maybe if he says something that makes more sense than what I'm saying, absolutely.
Okay.
I would recommend listening to various people on this. But if you're looking to trade Bitcoins, meaning you buy low and sell high and are in it for the short-term gain, you probably need to get more familiar with different Bitcoin trading techniques. That's not necessarily what you're looking for.
No,
so
long-term
we can kind of skip past that.
Yeah.
So as far as there's a technique called dollar cost averaging, which is the way I do it. I buy just a few dollars every week. I'm okay with losing $10 to $20 a week. If I lose it, I lose it. But if I, and I've showed you my Bitcoin portfolio and other cryptocurrencies as well, I'm doing okay. I'm okay with it. So I continue to just dollar cost average. Just means I just purchase a set amount every time, regardless of price. So that way, for me, it helps take out the emotion of going, oh God, it's really high. I need to, should I sell? And then, oh God, it's really low. And I'm losing everything.
I want to be heavily medicated if I do that shit.
Yeah. If you're trying to, man, do not do that with Bitcoin. Don't sit there and monitor the charts every single day if you're looking for a long-term investment, because you'll just lose your shit, because there are huge swings in it. It's still young.
Yeah.
It is huge.
It's got a lot of variables, just like anything else does when it comes to investment. So, I mean, I guess basically the gist of this conversation is to, like you said, when is a good time to invest? And then the second is going to be how much to invest.
Yep.
Now, obviously, I'm not going to invest all 50,000. So what I'm looking at is probably just a couple of hundred. I just want to get in the realm of investing in Bitcoin to understand it, learn it. That way, 10, 15 years down the road, this thing could be the new currency. We just don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, I have noticed some people in the comments section commenting on my little spike. I enjoy. I've had them for years. I wear them for Renaissance costumes and post-apocalyptic costumes, and I just wear them tonight because I wanted to, and now you're commenting on it. Anyway. So once you decide, you look at your money and you say, okay, I've got $50,000. I want to invest somewhere.
Right.
I already know I want to invest some of it in Bitcoin. I don't know what that number is yet, but I know I want to invest some of it. Now, The process for me, what I would do in that case is start going, okay, am I comfortable with investing 1,000 of it?
I don't even want to go that high.
Am I? So if you're not, if even 1,000 is too high, if you feel
to me, I'm just wanting to go just a couple $100.
Right. So if $200 is your
Yeah,
You're-
$200
you're
is
like,
fine with me.
I'm cool with losing $200.
People are like, "You got 50 grand. Why just $200?" Well, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Exactly, and that's good.
That's
I
not. You can't be
encourage that.
stupid with that kind of money and say, "Well, I'm going to invest, 20 grand." Well, no,
Yeah. There's people.
I've worked hard for my money. I'm not gonna.
Right.
No.
And it's being so you just got to take the way the pros and the cons. You guys say, okay,
Yeah.
how confident am I in U.S. dollar versus how confident am I in the success of Bitcoin or whatever cryptocurrency you decide to invest in. For me, I feel more confident and comfortable with Bitcoin. So I take probably the majority of my savings now is in Bitcoin because of the way I've been doing it.
Right.
It's to the point where if I'm getting too much in my USD savings account, I go ahead and take some out and put it in Bitcoin. That's just where I'm at, though, in my knowledge journey, in my comfort level, my risk level.
Right.
I'm cool with all that. So if $200 is the amount that you're okay with, the next question is what? Where can I purchase Bitcoin? Okay, so choosing a Bitcoin exchange is hard work because each exchange has different rules, accepted payment methods, and fees, along with other factors to take into account. So here's what you need to look for if you want to do your own due diligence. First one, obviously, is country supported. Binance is one that is...
Yeah, we talked about
Binance.
Binance.
Is available in the U.S. Now, it does have what's called a KYC process, that's the reason they're even allowed to operate in the United States, is because the government needs to know. KYC is a know your customer, meaning you have to give up some personal information in order to open up an account. So if that's something you're comfortable with, again, how much money am I willing to put into this where I'm giving up personal information?
Yeah, okay, that's something obviously to consider.
Yep. So you got accepted payment methods. Some exchanges accept a wide variety of payments. By the way, another way you can do this, I don't know if they cover that here, but I think they might, is if you want to purchase a couple $100 worth of Bitcoin, we can set you up a Bitcoin address, and I can send you a couple $100 worth of my Bitcoin if I'm willing to give it up.
No shit.
And then I can take that money that you gave me, and since I've already set up, I've already got the KYC process, whatever, I'm on there. But I can just give you, like, if you have a trusted person you can buy it from, obviously you don't want to go meet some guy in the Walmart parking lot and hope that whatever.
Something shady going down, man.
But like if you know somebody that has some Bitcoin and is willing to sell it, I would be willing to work that transaction out for you, and we can set you up a Bitcoin wallet. Now, in the future,
this is obviously a lot to take in, so this is going to be a process of just getting familiar with.
Yeah, very
going this route.
Information heavy on this episode, and I
it
appreciate
is,
you guys
it
sticking
is.
in here with me because this is it's not as difficult as you might think, but it is still a little more complicated than it will.
This isn't like going to the bank and signing up for a checking account.
It kind of is.
Well, I mean, it is, but it's a little bit more complex.
It's a little more complicated than it will be eventually because it's like when you first had your credit cards in the beginning. You had to kind of know which places even accepted it.
So let me ask you this question: why should I invest in Bitcoin?
Why the why you should invest in Bitcoin? I'd like to point you back to all the other episodes where we've talked about this.
Where I just hated it. I didn't want to talk about it.
I know. You weren't interested in it yet. Well, and that's because
and now here I am wanting to buy some Bitcoin.
Well, that's just it. And a lot of people are starting to come around to this way of thinking because they're seeing what the U.S. government's doing.
Yeah,
they're seeing what the Fed's doing.
Well,
and people are starting to get worried. Okay, well, shit, I need to put my money somewhere because this is not right. I don't know what's right, but this ain't it.
So for me, it was probably about 10 years ago, I decided to open up two safety deposit boxes. I put away some money.
Yeah.
I did not have this in an account. I did not have this invested anywhere. It's just sitting there, losing interest, I mean, hell, I probably could have made at least $100,000 by this point if I had done something with it or invested. I chose not to because I don't trust the value of the dollar, for one, and I don't trust banks. I don't trust Wall Street. So it's like, what do I do here?
Yep.
So for the longest time, I've been sitting on all this cash. It's cash, and it's just sitting there.
It's losing value.
And now I'm starting to understand that it's losing value because we're printing so much of the U.S. dollar.
Right.
Okay, now I'm shifting gears. Now I'm like, I've got a daughter to think about. What is her future going to look like? What is the value of the dollar going to look like? She's 13. So when she's 23 or 33, what is the dollar going to look like? So I've got to start approaching this.
If it makes it that long.
Right. So now I'm at this point to where I've got to start thinking very long term, not just for me, but more so for my daughter, to invest in her future. And so I need to start thinking, what is that going to look like? Is it going to be Bitcoin?
Yeah.
You know, is it going to be GameStop?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, it's one of those things where I think this is where I hope a lot of people are kind of at that crossroads right now.
Yeah. And I think they are. This is why, like, the GameStop thing is like a magnifying glass, a highlight on the faulty nature and the illusion that is our financial system.
Yeah.
And it really just pinpoints, you know, how viciously the elites will fight to keep the little people down.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we're going to see in the next little
Well,
while.
I just
as a follow, I want to hit these comments because the architect from D Live is dropping some stuff that you need to see here for sure.
Okay.
So he said, yeah, you have to dive in and buy a little, and when you get it, it'll be like riding a bike, and you'll never forget how it works.
Right.
Okay.
I
So
kinda figured.
yeah, it just takes a little practice, a little getting used to it, and after
Okay.
once you get everything set up, it's just like, you know, the time it takes
It's just to get the ball
set up a
rolling.
bank account.
Yeah,
It's a whole thing. You got to go fill out your information. He says the one thing you have to do is use two-factor authentication, like Authy or Google Authenticator. I would recommend not use Google Authenticator because, you know, fuck Google. So and get a copy of your QR codes so you can load it on a new device if the one it's on breaks. So that's what's called a paper wallet, what he's talking about.
Okay.
You actually print out it'll give you this with your wallet. You can print this out.
Right.
It's basically a QR code with your private and public addresses. And we talked about public and private addresses before. If anybody needs to know, please ask in the comments and I'll explain in further detail what that means. But basically, anybody that has that piece of paper has that money. It's like you do not want to let nobody else have it. So
Right.
that needs to be put in a safe place. If you want to put that in a deposit box, if that's something you feel comfortable with, you print that off, you put it in a deposit box.
Yeah,
Your
this
daughter,
is something that will.
that way, if you lose your passwords, you lose your two-factor authentication or whatever it is.
She'll have access to that.
She'll be able to take
safe
that
deposit
paper.
box.
She should take that paper and be able to use it.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
easy. And by then, the kids will have this all figured out. So, okay. So what else were you saying? There's one more. One thing you don't want to do is use SMS messaging as your two-factor authentication or 2FA because someone can have the phone company move your phone number. Now, this is something that was happening for a while. Where if people were making their 2FA on their phones. Somebody, a hacker or whatever, would call up the phone company and say, hey, you know, I lost my phone or I need to transfer my phone number to this new device or however it was. They would kind of social engineer their way into getting your phone number.
That's good to know.
And there's nothing, there's like people have lost a lot of money because of this. So it's a security thing.
Good to know.
So that is one thing.
Yeah,
the phone
thank you for
companies,
that.
the phone companies are not your friend when it comes to this. So you want to make sure that keep your phone number out of it.
Scroll
Oh,
down.
so what do you say? They transfer it to a new phone with a new SIM card, and get your text messages to your phone delivered to them, stealing your account by using that. Then they change your passwords, whatever. Then by then it's too late. You done lost it.
If you lose your what? Go back. If you lose what? Bitcoin.
Oh, if you lose your passphrase
Oh, okay.
for your BTC wallet.
Once you lose a Bitcoin, it's gone forever.
Yep.
Man, that's what I struggle with. It's like I made some investments about 10 years ago. I had some real estate property and I made quite a bit of money off of it. So I pulled majority of it out and stuck it into the bank. Well, it's in the safety deposit box.
Right.
And I just didn't know how to invest. I'll be honest with you. And this is 10 years ago. And I didn't trust the banks with it. You know, I mean, we're talking 50 grand. This is not like, you know, this isn't like $50 million or anything. It's just $50,000. Not a lot of money, but to me at that time it was. And I worked hard for that money, and I just wanted, you know, to protect it. Yep. But I didn't know how to invest it. I didn't know what I should do with it.
So I'm gonna continue going through the guide here for folks. Now, we decided, okay, yes, you want to buy some Bitcoin, and now you just need to figure out where to get it.
Yeah.
You've been given a couple options, and they're still throwing some more options at you about how you can do it. But there's all kind of different things you want to look at for your exchanges. There are brokers, trading platforms, P2P platforms, which would be like trading for me and you. Mm-hmm. And I do believe these P2P places do have some like third party arbitration. Some of them do, which is great because then you got a third party that's like, You put your money in, I put my Bitcoin in, and that third party then makes the switch for us. They're a trusted company that does that for us, for you. They have a reputation they want to keep up because they want to make sure that nobody goes, hey, these fuckers took our money and my Bitcoin. You don't want to do that. They will go out of business so fast. Anyways, so however, this direct communication involves risk since you're essentially sending money to an anonymous seller. On the upside, P2P platforms usually have benefits such as the availability in multiple countries, more payment methods, and the like. So they've got some examples of those. Local Bitcoins is one I have heard of. I have not heard of Paxful. So where's the best place to buy Bitcoin? It really doesn't, I mean, what to say. Regardless of the platform you choose, the main thing that matters is that you're happy with your price and that you found a reliable service to handle your business. As for me, I prefer to pay a little more for a quicker, more reliable service, hassle-free. I think you might be talking about something like a Binance or a Coinbase. Now, I notice he has not mentioned Coinbase on here, and I would not recommend people use Coinbase because of the fact that they have been, in the past, subpoenaed and have given up. They've been subpoenaed by the U.S. government to give up personal private information of their users, and they complied. Big no-no.
Fuck that.
Now, what other companies are doing are they're going and operating outside the U.S. They basically operate almost anywhere in the globe except the U.S. because the U.S. is a bunch of jackasses that want to. So there's too many regulations, and they just don't deal with it.
Okay.
So
let me ask you this real quick. So can you purchase anything with Bitcoin?
Yeah. For anybody that actually accepts it,
Okay.
You can work for Bitcoin and take your payment in Bitcoin if you want. That's probably one of the best ways to do it. You set up a wallet, you do some work for somebody, and they just pay you in your wallet. That's probably the best way to do it.
All right.
I mean, honestly, and I've taken payment in crypto, not Bitcoin per se.
Yeah.
But other cryptos, I have taken payment. I used to be the marketing manager for a company
You
called
used to mine crypto, did you?
Airwire. I did do some mining and staking, and these are all phrases. They're beyond the scope of this conversation.
Yeah.
I would use master nodes that would kind of basically act as a savings account and continue to support the network and earn me some more additional money. If those things ever became $1 each, just $1, I would be sitting pretty right now. And anyway, that's beside the point. So the guide goes into choosing a payment method, explaining chargebacks. That's not really.
So I think what we're going to end up doing is we're going to do a what was the type of video we were looking at doing? Kind of a tutorial on how to set up a Bitcoin account.
Yes. So
basically showing the process of what it takes for me to go through.
Basically, what we're going to do is kind of use this guide that we're going through right now as a way to have Anthony purchase his first Bitcoin.
Right.
We're going to record everything, the entire process, and we're going to edit it up into a nice package that you guys can use to follow along. And if you're
simplify it.
Yeah, just try to simplify it as best as we can. That's the plan anyway.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
I'm excited about this, man. I mean, I'm not buying a full Bitcoin, obviously.
Right.
I'm not making that kind of investment, but I am going to spend a couple $100 going to invest.
Just to get started.
Yep. And kind of know the ropes and what to expect, basically the do's and the don'ts.
Yeah. Now, I mean, what I would recommend you do after you invest a couple $100 is maybe, once you have your account set up, you can do like auto withdrawals, or you can do different kinds of things to make it where like every week I want to buy $10 worth of Bitcoin. Whatever number is okay weekly or monthly or whatever.
Well, I think what I'd like to do is just buy a little bit maybe each week when I get paid, or go monthly.
Yeah, whichever, whatever you're comfortable with.
I really don't want to move anything right now until I've had some time to research.
Right.
I'm obviously going to research before I invest, but I want to do more research as I am investing.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good and smart, move for me to make on my end, and just get to basically become more familiarized with what I'm investing in. So,
I have no idea if anybody can hear that. It's my phone ringing.
Oh, why? You want to take that call real quick?
No, it's our camera. I can't do it. All right.
That's great. I wonder if they can hear it.
I have no idea. Let me know if you can hear that, because that's kind of irritating. So, number 4, choosing a Bitcoin wallet. So you've figured out what your exchange is. Shut up. Okay, so choosing a Bitcoin wallet. Bitcoins need to be stored inside a Bitcoin wallet.
That was probably Jim.
A Bitcoin wallet is a piece of software that helps you manage your Bitcoins. EI, for example, send them, receive them, store them, etc. So just like in order to use email, you need a Gmail, Outlook, or similar program. Using Bitcoin requires a Bitcoin wallet. It's like it's like a Gmail.
Oh yeah.
But for your Bitcoin. So when you buy Bitcoin from an exchange, it's highly recommended that you move it from the exchange into your own personal wallet so that you will be in full control over your coins. This is very, very important. For a couple $100, probably not going to be the end of the world.
No.
But as you start to get more and more, you probably want to make sure you get that shit off of the exchanges because shit happens. And you can lose your money.
This is what I'm talking about as far as understanding how this works.
Right. So just you got to picture this stuff like the digital equivalent to carrying around wads of cash. You need to treat it as such. Right.
Well, that's kind of what I'm doing now.
If you're saying I've got $50,000, obviously you don't go walking around with $50,000.
No, you don't.
Obviously you don't do that.
I should not even said how much it was, truth be told, but because we are discussing and we're trying to educate myself, but not only others, we're looking at numbers here. So,
Okay, I do want to clarify here. The architect says from DLive says actually that's wrong about the Bitcoin wallet. He says the wallet is a way to unlock the Bitcoin, so it is more like keys to a locker that everyone's Bitcoin are all in different locker boxes. Okay, so yeah, while I do understand your differentiation on that, keep in mind that this particular guide is strictly for beginners, and while it might not fully capture all the perfect metaphors, I think that's still a pretty good analogy for people that are just kind of trying to grasp what these things are. And I've heard a number of people use a bunch of different analogies to describe this, but just basically either one, what the architect said or what the Bitcoin guide said, they're pretty close. That just get you in the ballpark. Once you start studying more, you'll start to understand that it is actually a different thing.
Yeah, we're just trying to get me to walk through the door here.
Right? Yeah. It's not either. So I don't want to muddy the waters too much and complicate things too much. So when you buy Bitcoin from an exchange, I already read that. So if you fail to do so, if you fail to take the things from the exchange, you're at risk of losing your coins in case someone hacks the exchange, or even if the exchange will close down, and it has happened before, where an exchange closed down, or the owner, the CEO of the exchange died, and now they don't know that have access to their stuff. Don't keep them on the exchange if you plan on keeping them. Like I said, a couple $100 probably not the end of the world. You'll be like bummed out, like fuck, that was stupid of me, and it's a very inexpensive way to learn a lesson. So, that being said,
that's why I'm not investing all of it.
So there are more than 20 types of popular Bitcoin wallets you can use. It can get a bit overwhelming in trying to compare all these Bitcoin wallets, and here are the most popular ones around. There are Ledger, Trezor, Electrum, and Edge, and I have heard of Ledger, Trezor, Edge, and I don't think I've heard of Electrum just yet. So basically, this thing consists of a private key and a public key. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, the private key is like, it's private. You don't want people to know that. That's your code to be able to take money out of the wallet, whereas a Bitcoin address or the public key is your way of putting Bitcoin into the wallet.
Gotcha.
That's what you give to other people. Your public or your Bitcoin addresses.
Okay.
And I have seen some projects trying to make these kind of clean up these numbers, because right now your Bitcoin address is some kind of 1BVBMSEY or whatever this string of numbers and letters and stuff like that. It's so confusing. But they're trying to clean them up and make them look more like just a URL.
Yeah.
Where you just type in a website address. Because we don't go around visiting different websites by their IP address. That would just be stupid. Nobody would ever be able to figure it out.
I would be kind of bored with that too.
So the addresses, they're trying to clean them up and this stuff is still advancing and still changing as time moves forward. So you have different types of Bitcoin wallets, right? Okay, so a non-custodial wallet means that you are the sole owner of your Bitcoins, and that you are not putting your Bitcoins in the hands of any third party. Okay, so it'd be like having your money in your wallet, like your physical wallet. That is non-custodial. That's not on the Bitcoin exchange.
Yeah.
That's not. Now, you're comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with that. But other people who are more aloof may not be comfortable with that. Like the kind of people that lose their password and forget it in like 5 minutes, like would not be well equipped or not very responsible with keeping track of their very important information.
Right.
Okay, so many types of non-custodial wallets. For example, the first Bitcoin wallet ever to be produced was known as Bitcoin Core Wallet. Even though using non-custodial wallets is considered to be more secure, it also means that you are the only one responsible for your coin's security. So you need to take the appropriate measures. Non-custodial wallets are linked to a specific device, such as a laptop or phone, and can only be accessed via that device. Okay, so another thing to take into account is that non-custodial wallets are usually harder to set up than third-party wallets, also known as custodial wallets. Additionally, if you lose the private keys to your non-custodial wallet, you lose your coins, so no one will be able to get them back for you. Okay, so you do not want to lose your non-custodial wallet keys. All right. I'm not really sure if that's 100% accurate, that they're linked to a specific device, such as a laptop or phone, and can only be accessed via that device. I'm not 100% certain. I'm going to have to get some more clarification on that particular one. Now, a custodial wallet, on the other hand, is a third-party wallet. They're controlled by somebody other than you, and this is usually some sort of company or exchange. Usually this type of wallet is usually easier since often they're more geared toward beginners, and you can also access it from anywhere on the web. However, this also makes them more prone to hacking. So it's kind of like you want to take the risks, weigh your risks, right? Now, I look at Bitcoin like cash. If I'm carrying around cash in my pocket, am I going to carry around $50,000? No. Am I going to carry around a certain amount that, if I got mugged or something, would really suck? I don't want to lose it, but it's not going to be the end of my financial existence.
I just want to clean out my safety deposit boxes and just put one little thing in there that's from Bitcoin and says, okay, I'm done. Here you go, Kelly. Open this box in 20 years.
You could do that. Absolutely. You could even put it in your will or something to that effect, but I don't know how you would do that exactly, because I'm not interested in giving any kind of access to the guy who is the custodian over my will, because they could take the money if they wanted to. I don't know how that works exactly. I've heard of companies that are making it where you can set it up where if in the event that you die, then this address or this whatever goes to your beneficiary. I'm not really sure how all that is set up. Yet.
That's something else I'll have to look into. Yeah. But she would have. I mean, she's already got access to the safety deposit boxes now. But this is something that I need to look into as far as Bitcoin for her to have access to it if God forbid something happened to me.
Right. So
she can go up there, unlock the box, get it out, and then she can do what she needs to do with it. Although for me, there's so many firewalls when it comes to my daughter with the stuff that I've invested. She's not going to be able to just to hand it over and say I want to cash it out or invest it. That's not what's going to happen.
So putting from the comments, she says contents of safety box will work. Like if you just put on your will the contents of safety box 8057 at whatever.
Yeah.
Go to such that you don't have to specify what's in there. Okay, I like that. That would probably be the best way to handle it, I would guess. I don't know. Just
I just need there to be kind of this buffer between when she does get access to it, what happens next.
Right.
That's a show for another day, but that's just again thinking long term.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
We've got to get my foot in the door first in order for her to have that investment for later on.
You also have multi-signature Bitcoin wallets, also known as multi-sig. A multi-signature wallet is a wallet that has more than one owner, and the coins inside that wallet can only be accessed if a preset number of owners agree to it. Mm-hmm. Now, these kind of things are really cool for like business arrangements. Say you got multiple partners in a company, all of your funds go into this Bitcoin address, and the only way
to
take
apply to me though.
No, the only way I'm just trying to give a brief explanation. So just basically, if two of the whatever the number is, they can have it set up where the only way that money gets moved is if two or three members agree to it, and then whatever the case is. But that's kind of one of the applications for that. Like in the example here, it says a CEO and two other managers, and they set the rules themselves. But that's multi-sig. Paper and physical wallets. So Bitcoins can also be, and we touched on this earlier, they can be stored on physical items such as flash drives, dedicated Bitcoin hardware wallets, or even on paper. So this is an example of a Bitcoin print off of, you have your digital wallet, but then you print it off.
Is that really Austin Powers on there?
That is Austin, yeah. Or not, that's...
or what's his name?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Dr. Evil.
Dr. Evil.
Dr. Evil.
$1 million.
Okay, so you got hardware wallets, which he's got a handful of them here. I've got one myself. I have a Keep Key wallet is what I use. for mine, and it requires I got to plug it into the computer, and it requires a little PIN code, and it brings up my little digital wallet, and I can access my funds that way.
Throw in the safety deposit box, lock it up.
Yep.
It's in a vault.
As long as
mess with it.
as long as she knows what the PIN code is.
Yeah, I've already got that pre-written. So
okay, so
it's not a PIN code.
So how to choose the right wallet is based on frequency of use. You have. Let me just read. So how often are you planning on sending Bitcoins? Notice that I ask only about sending Bitcoins, as receiving Bitcoins is pretty much the same for all types of wallets. Public address, right? So, how do you plan on spending them? If you think you're going to be a heavy Bitcoin user, I suggest using a wallet that is easily accessible on your mobile phone, so it will always be available. Yeah. That being said, that's what's called a hot wallet. It's like having your phone would be like your physical USD dollar wallet you keep in your pocket. Obviously, only keep as much on there as you're willing to lose. It's not as secure, but you also well, I mean, if you're using it on a daily,
I won't be using
and you're only putting a little bit in there, that's a good way to do it, to kind of you bypass some of the security measures in exchange for the ease of use, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like in your just like your regular wallet, you exchange some of the security of having the money in a bank or what have you, in exchange for the ease of having it right there, ready available. Right. Okay. So how long it took me to realize that Dr. Evil and Austin Powers were the same person?
I thought they were.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No,
really?
No, I did not.
Wow.
Yeah, it took me a long time. I tried watching that movie so many times. It's so stupid.
I love it, man.
I cannot get into it. It's not funny to me.
Oh, shag me, bud.
It's not funny to me. So basically, that's frequency use.
Behave. No, that's Jim Carrey.
So how many Bitcoins do you plan on owning? No, that's Austin Powers. Oh, behave.
Oh, yeah. No, I was thinking, oh, Billy. Never mind.
Oh, Billy.
Oh, Billy.
Oh, we need to talk to Billy again, don't we?
Oh, Billy.
All right, we're almost done. We're going to wrap this up. And you guys, if you want to...
We got a little music video we're going to show.
Yeah, we're going to play a music video for you guys.
We've never done a music video.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And then we're going to wrap up with... we're gonna head into the private Zoom...
Zibbity doom.
Group member only Zoom call after the show. The link is in the description if you need that. You got to be in the Discord community or the Telegram. All right, so user friendliness, personal paranoia, and anonymity preferences. So how paranoid are you about someone stealing your Bitcoins? How concerned are you about your anonymity? Some wallets also focus completely on anonymity and privacy.
I'm extremely paranoid.
Yes. So
well, I mean, who wouldn't be? You know?
These might be good options for you if you because you really didn't really like the idea of putting in your personal information. So you'll need to find an alternate route to purchase a Bitcoin.
I mean, if I have to, that's fine. But if they start asking for social security number, no.
Okay, so how many Bitcoin do you want to buy?
Not a full Bitcoin.
How much does one Bitcoin cost at the moment? Prices.
Well, we cover that.
Oh, they must have that set to auto update. I don't know. Can I buy less than one Bitcoin? Yes, you can, of course, all the way down to a single Satoshi. Buying large amounts of Bitcoin.
Whoa, what does that say about $10,000 worth?
Oh, buying large amounts of Bitcoin. If you're looking to buy large amounts of Bitcoin, let's say over $10,000 worth, there are specific exchanges and brokers that deal in these sorts of transactions. Those services are known as OTC or over-the-counter. Right. Other buying options are Bitcoin ATMs. There are some in our area, especially around Nashville, if you want to go to a Bitcoin ATM and purchase some.
Oh.
Some Bitcoin ATMs require personal information and some do not. I have not personally used any of a Bitcoin ATM before, but I would like to. I would like to for the experience to see how they actually operate.
Okay.
We need to do that sometime.
We'll take a little field trip.
Yeah. So you can buy from individuals. So ends with 7, conclusion, resources, and whatnot. So a whole bunch of resources you can dig in for some information if you.
Well, we can throw this link into the description and let people.
I do need to update the description with that, don't I?
Yeah.
So Control-C, we'll paste that right in the comments section for starters, and I will update the description later. There's that. So let's head over to the comments section before we play our music video of the night.
Music video. Something different. Never done this before in 5 years.
So, Architect says you can back that wallet on the phone up, so losing it only means lost coins if your phone is not locked, so to speak. If the wallet locks each time and the phone locks, then your coins will be there when you load a copy of the wallet waiting for you on the internet. So there's that.
Good deal.
This is this is a topic that's hugely near and dear to my heart. I've been
know
paying
it
attention
is.
for a while. I'm super excited. This will be the revolution of the world. And this GameStop thing, the reason I was saying earlier to wrap up that it's going to lead to a Bitcoin revolution is that people are starting to see, even you are starting to worry about
Me
the
of all
value
people.
of your money. You know,
Yeah.
people that previously didn't really give a shit about financial stuff are starting to give a shit about financial stuff because they're starting to understand that their money is not it's not remaining as valuable as it once was. It's harder to come by, harder to make, and buys less day in, day out. So the more this kind of thing continues to happen, the more people are going to recognize how fragile the U.S. dollar actually is.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, the description. Okay, you know when you look at all the videos that everybody's all mad at, conservative channels play them all the time. Shows a bunch of black people running up in Walmart stealing TVs, and the white guy stealing Legos, and they're looting places, right?
I remember that, yeah.
And it's chaos. There's people be running out with all sorts of just armfuls of shit and cartfuls, and they're running. Okay, what you're seeing with the financial industry right now is the white collar equivalent, the elite version of that. They are looting the coffers for everything they possibly can because they are well aware that this party can only last so long.
Yeah.
And they're taking every last red cent they can. And they're paying off all their friends while they can with all these pork spending bills. And they're trying like crazy to just take as much as they can.
Chopping away
And
at
they
it.
are literally, they are the equivalent to those videos you see on Fox News of black people looting Walmarts that they're so... And that is nothing. Like, what they're stealing is nothing. Like, we're talking about a few $100s worth of merchandise.
Yeah.
What the elites are doing is downright despicable. It's disgusting, and it needs to stop. And the only way it's going to stop is if we take the power away from them. And the only way you can take the power away from them is stop using their form of currency. Right? So
Got to do it at some point.
we're going to wrap up with, I hope this has been a good episode.
Educational for me, that's for sure.
I honestly hope you've learned something.
No, I have. And this was a topic, it was just, I guess because it was foreign territory for me, over the years of doing the show with you, you always wanted to talk about Bitcoin. I had zero interest in this.
Yeah.
I was like dreading coming over here doing the show. I would sit in the studio just bored out of my damn mind, and hey, that's just not, that's just not, that is just me not taking that time to read up on something I knew nothing about and automatically prejudged it for what it was and not really understanding it fully.
Well, that's why I said in the beginning, people hear about financial stuff and this new money and they're like, they don't, it's not a topic a lot of people are interested in. And I wasn't either, honestly, until I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, where he kind of compares the thought process differences between poor people and rich people.
Yeah.
And look, if you get that book, if you only get that book to read the first chapter, do it. It's worth every penny, and it will change your fucking life. I mean, it's the way he talks about it is, and it's like one of the things that rich people do is they actually have financial knowledge, whereas poor people don't. They think buying lottery tickets is a good idea. It's like, I don't know. But once I kind of had that put into my head, I started trying to understand how the U.S. dollar works, how financial markets work. No, I mean, I'm not like a collegiate level, knowledge
You're
level.
not over here running Wall Street.
Yeah, nothing like that. But I mean, just having a basic grasp of how these things work really helps paint the picture of the value of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. It really does.
I think one of the reasons why I started looking into this more was seeing what was going on during the Trump administration and knowing, even during his presidency, knowing that we could potentially end up with a candidate like Biden.
Right.
I got concerned, dude. I wasn't freaking out. I just... this growing concern that I've had over the years about the U.S. dollar and inflation and raising minimum wage, because they've been talking about that for a while. What is this going to do here?
And the money printer go brrrr.
Yeah, it's just going crazy. So, that money has been sitting there for 10 years. And like I said, it was just during some real estate, exchanges that I had done. And I just put the money back, I didn't really do anything with it. It's just been sitting there.
Right.
And, I turn 40 next month, I got to start thinking about some shit.
Yeah, I'd say.
So.
Architect says, I made a video on the naked shorting and such. I will have to check and make sure it's good, but then I will upload to Library and Odyssey. Yeah, shoot us a link. We'll share it out if it's good, man.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing that. I'd like to. I like to see what other people's perspectives are on this whole GameStop thing because it's crazy. I'm looking at it like I'm jumping for joy. I'm like, this is insane. This is so exciting because like the little people are finally like rising up and having some power and everybody talks about the power in numbers.
We just talked about that when you went to Washington.
I know,
told you
the power of numbers is like, wow, holy crap.
I think we're starting to see like a coming to Jesus moment with everybody. I think this is now where government and others in the financial world should be very careful because for so long they have sat on that throne and felt like they were invincible. They couldn't be touched. And we've seen this and we've discussed this and we've covered this on other shows where we've seen the overthrow of other countries and governments.
Yeah, no doubt.
And now I think the U.S. is starting to realize we've got the numbers, we've got the manpower, and we sure as hell have the firepower. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, our balls are getting a little bit bigger.
Yep, they are.
And they're about to drop.
We're finally breaking through the prisoner's dilemma. Here we go. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up with the song. It is a. I'll tell you what. So if you guys can do us a favor, listen. Some of the stuff that we do need help with is sharing the videos, of course. So like, share, do that kind of stuff. But also, if you don't know, we do have a merch store. We do sell different types of things of our own designs. Like, for example, this one here. If you can see this, you are invading my COVID-19 safe space.
I love that one.
It's designed to look like an eye chart, and it's so cool. I love it. So if you want to head over to our website, unframeofmind.com, and check out our merch section and support us that way. You can support us in any number of ways financially, and any help is, honestly, it's greatly appreciated. So, please... do if you have it. If you don't, the best thing you can do is share, honestly, and subscribe, like, comment, all the stuff. The interaction is great. We love it, and we love to see more. And hopefully, as we move on to these decentralized platforms and we move on to other censorless type platforms, we can actually grow.
When Mind starts doing live stream,
Library,
holy
Minds.
Shit, dude! I got a feeling we're really gonna blow up.
Right. So, yep. Take care.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap with this song, and then we will meet you guys.
Wrap with this song. Go ahead.
Wrap with this song. See what I did there? Yeah, let me find it. Let's begin.
Yeah.
Let's begin.
Make that full screen.
I think it's crazy I'm the one who they labeled as controversial, and Cardi B is the role model for 12-year-old girls. There's rappers pushing Xanax at the top of the billboard, but if I mention race in a song, I'm scared I'll get killed for it. It's backwards, it's getting exponentially dumb. It's more difficult to get a job than purchase a gun. Eminem used to gay bash and murder his mom, and now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump. We're ashamed to be American. You should probably love it, cause you have the right to hate it and not get stoned to death in public. As children we were taught how to walk and talk, but the system wants adults to sit down and shut up. Cancel culture runs the world now, the planet went crazy. Label everything we say as homophobic or racist. If you're white, then you're privileged, guilty by association. All our childhood heroes got Me Too'd or they're rapists. They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need to change. They gave us tiny screens, we think we free cause we can't see the cage. They knew that race war would be the game they need to play. For people to big teams, they use the media to feed the flame. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe zones. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings. I think it's crazy how these people screaming facts, but they fake woke. Hate their neighbor cause he wears a mask or he stays home. Has a daughter but his favorite artist said he slays hoes. Picks her up from school, music slaps on the way home. Censorship's an issue cause they choose what they erase. There's a difference between hate speech and speech that you hate. I think Black Lives Matter was the stupidest name, when the system's screwing everyone exactly the same. I just want to spend Thanksgiving Day with food in my family, without being accused of celebrating native casualties. We got so divided, it's black and white and political. Republicans are bigots it's libtards if you're liberal. There's riots in our streets and it's just getting worse. Y'all screaming deep on the police, y'all a genius for sure. They're underfunded already, they're way too busy to work. Order food and call the cops, see what reaches you first.
Damn.
Segregation ended, that's a lie in itself. That was a strategy to make us think they were trying to help. They knew that racism was hot if they designed it to sell. We buy up every single box and divide us ourselves.
They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe zones. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings.
Use violence to get peace and wonder why it isn't working. That's like sleeping with a football team to try and be a virgin. Politicians are for sale and someone always makes the purchase. But you and I cannot afford it, our democracy is worthless. If a man has mental illness, call him crazy, say it silently. When country's going crazy, we accept it as society. Get sick and take a pill, when the side effects get you high, you get addicted like these rappers dying fighting with sobriety. Censoring the facts turns our children into idiots. They claim it's for our safety, I'll tell you what it really is. Removing information that empowers all the citizens. The truth doesn't damage points of view that are legitimate. They're trying to change amen to amen and women. How'd we let them make praying a microaggression? Instead of asking God for the strength to keep winning, we cheat to get ahead and then we ask him for forgiveness. Feminism used to be the most righteous of fights, but these days it feels like they secretly hate guys. I don't trust anyone who bleeds for a week and don't die. Just kidding, but everything else that I said is right.
Oh, so much truth.
They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe zones. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings.
Man, if there was ever a song for the last 5 years of the shit we've gone through in our society, this was it. This was the anthem of how screwed up our time and world is right now.
Oh my God! As I'm listening to it, I'm like, that he just summed up all of our shows for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Everything we've ever talked about was kind of in there.
I tell you what,
one fashion or another.
I've been following Tom McDonald now for a little bit. I've got some personal friends that actually know Tom McDonald himself, and he's getting better and better. And the more we keep acting like this as society, they're giving him material
ammo all day.
Yeah, and it's just crazy. And I tell you what, I followed him for about 4 or 5 years now, really early on, like back when he had less than 20,000 subscribers. And just to watch the evolution of his music has just been really neat, you know. And so yeah, credit to him for all this, you know, success that he's had. But that was just awesome song. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So
all right, so you guys have been watching the Unframe of Mind show, where we have uncomfortable conversations without a condom. I'm your host, Daniel Wagner.
Anthony Treyway.
And we will see you guys next week at 8 p.m. Central, wherever we're allowed to go live.